If you've been grinding the new Kortz Center Heist, you've probably seen everyone saying the exact same thing. The payout is amazing. This is the new best money maker. Rockstar has finally replaced Cayo Perico, but after spending a lot of time with this heist, I actually think everyone is looking at the wrong thing. The payout is only part of the story. What really determines whether a heist is worth playing isn't how much money you make from one finale. It's how much money you can consistently earn every single hour. And when you start looking at the Kortz Center Heist that way, the conversation becomes a lot more interesting. So in today's video, we're going to break down exactly how much money you can make, whether it's actually worth grinding, and the hidden design decisions Rockstar made that almost nobody seems to be talking about. Because I genuinely think this heist reveals Rockstar's plans for the future of Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get straight into it. Let's start with the money, because that's what everybody wants to know. Depending on your difficulty, how much secondary loot you collect, whether you complete the Elite Challenge, and whether you're playing solo or with a team, your payout can comfortably reach well over $1 million. For experienced players running hard mode and grabbing everything available, you'll likely see between $1.3 and $1.6 million from a successful finale. That's a solid payout. In fact, if someone simply looked at that number without considering anything else, they'd probably think this is one of the best heists Rockstar has ever released. But numbers can be misleading. Making $1.5 million sounds incredible until you ask a much more important question: how long did it actually take? See, every heist in Grand Theft Auto Online has two values. The first is the final payout, the second is how much time you invested to get there, and surprisingly, the second value is usually the one that matters more. Think back to the original Cayo Perico heist. Sure, the payouts were fantastic, but that wasn't why players loved it so much. Players loved it because once you learned the routes, you could complete everything incredibly quickly. Setups became second nature. You knew exactly where to go. Every run became faster than the last, which meant your money per hour was unbelievably high. That's what made Cayo so dominant. Not necessarily the payout itself, but the efficiency. Now compare that to the Kortz Center Heist. The setups are noticeably longer. There's far more traveling across the map. Objectives can change. Security layouts aren't always identical. Some prep missions simply take longer than others. By the time you've completed every setup and reached the finale, you've invested significantly more time than many people realize. So yes, the payout is excellent, but when you divide that payout by the total amount of time spent completing everything, the results become much more interesting. You're no longer comparing $1 million to another $1 million. You're comparing money earned every single hour, and that's where other activities begin looking surprisingly competitive. Depending on how efficiently you play, businesses like Acid Lab, Nightclub, the Cluck and Bell Farm Raid, and even some older heists can sometimes compete simply because they require much less preparation. That's something I don't think Rockstar wants players to notice, because I honestly don't think the goal of the Kortz Center Heist was ever to become the next Cayo Perico. I think Rockstar learned a lesson from Cayo. For years, almost every business in the game became irrelevant because players had one answer whenever someone asked how to make money: just run Cayo. Cargo, run Cayo. Motorcycle businesses, run Cayo. Bunker, run Cayo. CEO work, run Cayo. The heist completely dominated the economy. Rockstar spent years balancing businesses only for players to ignore almost all of them because one activity paid significantly better than everything else. Eventually, they nerfed Cayo Perico. At the time, lots of players were frustrated, but looking back now, it makes perfect sense. They weren't trying to ruin the heist, they were trying to stop one activity from replacing the entire game, and that's exactly where the Kortz Center Heist feels different. Instead of giving us another completely overpowered money printer, Rockstar has created something that's rewarding without making everything else obsolete. Personally, I think that's intentional, but here's the part almost nobody is discussing, the replayability. Every time a new heist releases, players immediately start looking for the fastest possible route. Within days, YouTube fills up with speedruns, the quickest setups, the fastest finale, the easiest approach. Eventually, everyone copies exactly the same strategy. That's what happened with Cayo. Thousands of players were literally completing identical runs over and over again. But the Kortz Center Heist makes that much harder. Security patrols can change, objectives aren't always identical. Loot locations can vary, certain sections force you to adjust your approach. That means you can't completely switch your brain off and run exactly the same route forever. Instead, you actually have to react to what's happening. At first, that can feel frustrating, especially if you're someone who just wants maximum efficiency, but after several runs, I actually started appreciating it. Because every finale feels slightly different. It's a small change, but it's enough to stop the heist feeling repetitive after only a few attempts. And honestly, I think Rockstar deserves more credit for that. There's another detail that I found really interesting: the pacing. If you compare this heist to older content, you'll notice Rockstar spends much more time creating cinematic moments. The missions feel larger, the environments are more detailed, the dialogue is better, the action sequences feel more like something from a Grand Theft Auto story mission than a traditional online setup. That probably explains why the missions take longer. Rockstar clearly wants players to enjoy the experience instead of simply sprinting from objective to objective. Whether you enjoy that approach is entirely personal. Some players only care about money, others enjoy the atmosphere. Personally, I think it's nice seeing Rockstar experiment with something that feels more like a blockbuster mission instead of another repetitive grind. There's also the progression system. Unlike older heists where you mastered everything after a handful of attempts, the Kortz Center Heist continues rewarding experience. The better you become at understanding patrol patterns, shortcuts, and secondary loot locations, the faster your runs become. So while the first few attempts might feel slow, experienced players will naturally shave minutes off every future run. That's going to be interesting over the next few weeks. Right now, everyone is still learning, but give the community another month and I guarantee we'll start seeing optimized routes that dramatically improve completion times. That's when we'll really know how profitable this heist is, because efficiency always increases once players master the content. So should you actually grind the Kortz Center Heist? In my opinion, yes, not because it's automatically the highest paying activity in the game, but because it's one of the most enjoyable. If your only goal is making money as quickly as possible, you'll probably still mix this with other businesses rather than endlessly replaying it. But if you're looking for a fun heist that still pays extremely well while offering something different every run, Rockstar has absolutely succeeded. I genuinely think this is one of the strongest heists they've released in years. It doesn't completely replace Cayo Perico, it doesn't make businesses obsolete, instead it gives players another genuinely worthwhile activity that fits into the overall economy rather than breaking it, and I think that's exactly what Rockstar wanted. Now the real question is what happens next. If this is the direction Rockstar plans to take with future Grand Theft Auto Online content, then we could be entering a completely different era where activities focus less on being the single best moneymaker and more on giving players multiple worthwhile ways to earn cash. Personally, I think that's healthier for the game. It keeps more content relevant, it gives players more choice, and it stops one activity from dominating everything else. But what do you think? Have you been enjoying the Kortz Center Heist so far? How much money have you managed to make? And do you think Rockstar finally got the balance right, or should the payouts be even higher? Let me know down in the comments, because I'm really interested to hear everyone's opinions. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new for more Grand Theft Auto Online news, guides and updates, and I'll see you all in the next one.